Hey, my name is David Michael Maurer. I'm the writer, director, co-editor, and one of the executive producers for the short film MENDO'S CAROUSEL. And here are my answers to Tinsel and Tine's 5 questions for indie filmmakers.
Liza, I'm so sorry about your dad. Mendo was a great guy. I bet he'd be real proud seeing the two of you working together right now.
What do you want from me?
I want you to go out into the world and be a better person.
I'm trying.
You are a taker.
Jan, what are you? Ever since he died, you won't speak to me.
You know, your daddy was a complicated man, but he always saw the best in you. I love you, kid.
MENDO'S CAROUSEL is a film about honesty, and when I started writing, I didn't have a lot of inspiration, actually. And I knew that I wanted to do something with our cast. If I had the opportunity to work with them, it would be amazing. So I started writing in hopes that I might come up with something we could collaborate on. Wasn't sure if they'd say yes, but you know, you got to start somewhere. And around the same time, unfortunately, our family experienced quite a few losses. My grandmother passed away a year and a month or so after that. My grandfather passed away. And then right before we filmed, my uncle passed away. And so I was swimming in this grief. And I think grief is one of these things that we all go through. It's universal. And sometimes when we're in it, it's tough to be honest with ourselves and other people. You can feel very alone in grief. And there's such a range of emotions that we go through. I thought maybe there's something in here that other people could relate to. The other thing that inspired the film was a little over 7 years ago, I decided it was time for me to quit drinking alcohol. And at the time, it was a really big decision, a big change in my life. It's not an easy thing to do in the beginning, but through the course of getting sober, I was able to take a hard look at myself and get honest, and also get honest with other people. And I found a lot of healing from that in going back and trying to make things right wherever I could. And I thought it would be interesting to make a movie about that beginning when the door cracks just a little bit. What does that look like when we get honest with each other? Sometimes when we're struggling and we're going through stuff, we can cause harm to other people and resentments can come up and we can kind of like not be 100% our healthiest. But even when we're at odds with other people, I think honesty is the antidote. And all that was the soup that inspired the movie. The music was really fun because I was able to work with two of my favorite people, our composer, Tristan Copé, and our music supervisor, Melanie Mitchell. Melanie is this amazing, successful film and television music supervisor, and she helped me navigate licensing tracks, the stuff that like plays in the radio in the store, and of course our end credit song that she found that Elizabeth Moen did called Mars, which I love. And then on the score side, Tristan and I got to work together again. We had done a TV show many years ago. You know, it was a pleasure to get to collaborate again. He is such a creative composer, and he looks for ways to do interesting things with a score. Like he doesn't want to be cliche ever. So if, you know, every other film in this genre is doing stuff with piano, he wants to replace the mallet with like a dulcimer, that sort of thing. So he had expressed early on that he strongly felt that he wanted the score to be very gentle and in support of the performances, because the actors get so vulnerable in the film, and he didn't want to like distract from that. And I tend to gravitate towards like really bigger scores that take this, where the score takes a little bit of the spotlight. Like all of our temp cues in the edit were a lot more over the top, but Tristan helped sort of ground the sound of the film. Sometimes I could say, hey, it's okay for you to step into the spotlight a little bit more in this moment. It'll be totally cool. And he would. And then other times he would say like, I really think this moment needs to be subtle on the score, and he would kind of push, and he was right. And so I think the two of us were a really good balance for the film overall. There's been a lot of really cool experiences with the film. I think we had our world premiere at LA Shorts, and that was amazing. It was a packed house, tons of energy, And then, after the Q&A, people would come up to me and say things like, I think your grandparents would be very proud of you. And that was very powerful. And other people would sort of connect with the grief of the film. Those are like little moments that are special, and I appreciate them so much, because we make movies to connect with people. When like a film resonates with people and they take the time to say hello and share their experience afterwards, it's a very powerful thing. The other magic of movies is that they travel, and like people can connect with the story even when they're not in the same room or the same continent. And I appreciate the really kind messages that people have sent when they've seen the film in another country somewhere. It's really neat. So many people helped out on this film to make it come to life that it's impossible to name them all. But, I've been lucky to work with a lot of talented people as an editor in my career. And so it was really nice to be able to have lots of friends to call who I could ask advice from, and so I got a ton of amazing advice, and a lot of people are open to giving feedback and stuff. You just got to ask them. And so that was a huge thing. We had a lot of help on that front. We were lucky to have this amazing crew in Burbank, California, including our producers, Laura Barisma from Grand Falloon, and Randy Sawson, who's known as the commissioner, who kept the train on its tracks. Randy's known for a lot of music videos. And everyone worked really hard. The film is mostly handheld. Our DP Gavorg just wandered around with a massive camera on his shoulder for most of it. So it's pretty intense. Our cast was incredible. It's totally insane that we got Eddie Gathegi and Todd Grinnell and Almara Marrero to be in the film. They are so talented, and each one of them showed up for this film and made sure like every single take was a tough decision, because we just had so many riches in the edit, And then speaking of editing, we did all of our post-production at Reactor in Puerto Rico. So they helped us out with offline editorial, dailies, color, VFX, dialogue editing, sound design, mixing, finishing services, like everything. And Reactor does these really big TV shows and movies and stuff. And so we were very lucky that they could make time for our little film in their schedule. I co-edited the film with my friend Raul Marchand Sanchez, who is not only a terrific editor, but he's also a renowned film director and has done these beautiful feature films that you should definitely look up. So I felt very lucky to have someone in the edit bay that understood editing, but also would like push me in good ways, and he made a major impact on the cut. All in, from blank page to the screen, it took about 1.5 years. So we're very excited that people finally get to see the film at film festivals. Oh, I love this question. I would say, well, first, I love Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. That's my all-time favorite, with Gene Wilder. I love E.T. the Extraterrestrial, The City of Lost Children. Ron Perlman is amazing in that. And then more on the dramatic side, I like William Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet that Baz Luhrmann did, and The Perks of Being a Wallflower. I love that movie. Thanks so much for listening to all these answers, and hope you get a chance to see the film. And please check us out on social media at MENDO'S Carousel, everywhere you can find it. And you can also go to mendoscarousel.com. Thank you.